silly to me. And I just had a thought. This is completely unrelated to the Muppets or anything. But in order to get the numbers... Oh, really? That's where you're going to... Thank you. Breaking. You're probably an American. You don't know how to merge. I don't normally talk this much when I'm driving. I'm just putting on a show for you guys. Oh, speed up. Go. Come on, mate. Oh, come on. You're in a big 4x4 truck. Come on. It's not even that big. It's a Holden, Colorado or something. It's definitely a wannabe American. Definitely. So it's a ute, effectively, a utility like mine that has a back tray. But that tray area is at what looks like roughly like breast to chest or to shoulder height for me. And now I'm 6'1", something like that. I don't know how that's practical to get stuff up and on it or in it. I don't get it. I like practical, useful cars. Unless you're going to go something fancy. And if you're going to go something fancy, you get like a convertible sports car. Because that's fancy and silly. Anyway, what I was saying, to get the numbers for the commute back on track, because today being Thursday of the second week of the commute, it should have been episode 9. Episode 5 is going to be the terrible version of the show that is hopefully going to be online tonight. Episode 6 should have been Tuesday. So right now, I'm going to split up all these episodes, or all this talk that I'm doing going home today, into 3 episodes. Right now, we're in episode 5, 6, 7. And in about 6 to 7 to 8 minutes, we'll be in episode 9. So there you go. So you will have already known this because the cut and edit would have already happened. But just go with it. I don't know. This is a very free-form show, if you can call it a show. I mean, what even is this? Really? So, I had an idea yesterday as I was writing the last part home. First of all, did you know that Edward Norton is into martial arts a little bit? Not surprising, but he is, and surfing. And apparently, Hickson Gracie is in The Incredible Hulk. Hickson Gracie of the Gracie family Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fame. I did not know that, and now I want to watch The Incredible Hulk. Speaking of superhero films, I'll get back to my idea in a second. Speaking of superhero films, the trailer for the Suicide Squad has just come out. Not that anyone asked my opinion, except for Brian, who he and I chatted extensively last night about it. My opinion is it looks good. I'm in. I'm on board for that one. I wasn't when I first saw the neon vibe that was going on. I didn't think it was necessarily going to work. It just didn't quite gel with me to start with. I wasn't 100% convinced with Harley or the Joker. But you've always got it, all these things have to change it up and stuff. It's just, there's a lot riding on it now because this is the cinematic universe DC. So we're not going to see, or we can't see Harley in her court jester outfit and then see another issue of a comic where she's in something else. This is the cinematic version. It's unlikely that most of these characters are going to get much more of a run than this cinematic universe. Harley might be in another film down the line, but it wouldn't be surprising if it wasn't the case. I'm really unsure as to the legality of what I'm doing, as to whether I can be recording like this. People are just going to, anyone looking in will just assume that I'm on the phone. The reason I mention that is that there is a police car just on the other side of the camera, and I'm not sure what the legalities are here. But I'm going to move over because I'm not doing the speed limit, so I'm not passing anyone. And no one's going to pass anyone right now whilst we've got a police car in front of us. So yeah, Margot Robbie, or whatever her name is, has done a very good job. I think she's played it quite well, given that there's especially in the trailer a scene where she says, "What? Kill them all and escape?" And she makes a joke about the voices in her head, and that was very Harley Quinn. That was very much the original. Hey, Mr. J. That animated version, which was the original that we got to see. It looks legit. Like, it looks really legit. Even the neon aspect of it, and they start off with Bohemian Rhapsody. I was not impressed that they started off with Bohemian Rhapsody. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. But they've done a really good job of including that, because they've really included the fact that that song is very schizophrenic. And the Suicide Squad are a bunch, I'm just looking at the cop car, sorry. The Suicide Squad are a bunch of crazy people, so as a group, they're very schizophrenic. Yeah, it looks good. And I like Will Smith as Deadshot. Even though I think there's a bunch of talk that they've put his laser sight on the wrong eye, which is weird. I don't know how you'd make that mistake. But I'm very, very interested to see that film now. Even Jared Leto as the Joker looks acceptable within that context. I'm not sure if I like him as the Joker for the cinematic universe. As I said, there's a lot riding on this because of the characters and because of the way it's going to be. This is it. This is the cinematic universe. There is a lot going on. Not a lot going on. A lot of pressure involved. And I'm not sure I think Leto can do it. I think if somebody had said, hey, Jared Leto is the Joker, I'd go, oh yeah, I can believe that. But the way they've done it, I'm not 100% sure. And then, as Brian was saying when we were chatting last night, we're not exactly sure who the villain is in this movie, because is it the Joker? Are they sending the Suicide Squad out to get the Joker? It's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm really looking forward to finding out more and more about the DC universe. Now, a little bit of footage of Wonder Woman and the Justice League has been shown. That is fantastic. I'm on board with that. I like where they're going. I like the fact that DC are going to look a little bit darker, a little bit more realistic, which is absurd when we're talking about superheroes. It's ridiculous. But it looks like it's going to be like set in a sort of a real world, as it were, because the Avengers and the Marvel it feels like cartoons, and that's the draw card of that. It looks like fun. It doesn't look real. But I like the fact that DC feels like it's based in the real world. What would happen if an alien came here and happened to have powers? What would happen if a psychiatrist turned crazy and started killing people and being a crazy little girl, effectively? So yeah, it's I'm looking forward. DC have put out a bunch of stuff just recently, and I'm looking forward to it all. It all looks good. Anyway, my idea from the ride home yesterday, and I kind of don't want to talk about it now. That was weird. I was just trying to find something to talk about before. So, I'm really excited by the prospect of starting an actual business. And I've been thinking about and wanting to start a business for a while. And that business is hopefully going to be a farm. It's going to be producing food. Because I've wanted to produce food, and whenever I think about gardening, I'm drawn to food-producing plants. I feel that they are the best plants to grow. And I want to produce a farm. So I'm really looking forward to the idea of this farm. But there is a lot of, you cannot see it on the camera, but there is a lot of traffic going the other way right now. It is shockers. I love the fact that